problems that the society cannot solve in any other ways. So people in a state of nature kill each other, and that's why we have the penal code to prohibit murder. And after that we have the human rights abuses during the Second World War and before, of course, but basically at that time. So we came up with the human rights. And if we now come up with a right to the future and authorize the government to take care for our future, then we are in deep trouble.
That's a powerful theory, by the way. I'll never ask that question again.
I'd like to add something actually to his theory. I think that rights give us freedom, okay? But rights are something that comes from the government, which means regulation. And as much as we have more regulation, less freedom actually, or less space for freedom. So I would make an appeal to the European Union: stop producing so much bureaucracy, stop making so much regulations for every piece of, for every aspect in our lives. I don't know, for me regulation and rights are in a way similar. Because rights, okay, they're coming from the political scene, from the government, and they in a way restrict our freedoms. So, and I think that right for the future, it would be really a great restriction to our freedom.
Can I say a word?
Let's not confuse negative and positive rights. I would beg you. So, like the European community is based at present, if we speak about political rights, civic rights, on the negative understanding of these rights. So the basic presumption is that we should not intervene. And in this respect, when we understand the rights like this, the existence of these rights cannot result in any burdensome regulation. And this is basically the idea that lies also behind the Bill of Rights in the United States. Remember, thank you very much for the phone. Remember the text of the First Amendment: Congress shall make no law. So basically, the most fundamental rights we have are negative rights. And they're there exactly for one reason: to protect us from the intervening government, from the intervening big brother. So as long as the majority of rights remain negative rights, ourself is somehow protected. And that's why I totally agree with you, because the right to the future, if we frame it in terms of an active right that will enable the government to legislate, will basically destroy our lives and make all the rights we actually enjoy totally unusable. So I totally agree with you on this point.
Thank you. You have a one-sided. You have a potential interpretation. Right to the future is a metaphorical expression, and it's actually enforced because, for instance, government is obliged to prevent people from dying of hunger. Right. And that's enforcing the right to future.
Yeah. Or poison or...
the right to life is a right in the present.
But look, we were speaking about, since I have the microphone, I would ask those who were discussing about boycotting Chinese Olympics. It looks like you wanted to suggest that Olympics should be boycotted because they are Chinese, not because they are Olympics. So, don't you think that you should ask a question about boycotting Olympics per se?
Are we against the Olympics?
Well, it was about the Tibetian issue. And
nationalistic pharmaceutical industry, very happy about it.
Yeah, the issue with abusing the main right of Tibetans to express their opinion and wanting the way they want to live and in which society they want to be. So we just discussed that boycotting the Olympic Games is not actually something that everyone should do, but there are particular roles and particular target groups. So boycotting them on a political level might produce only consolidation of the Chinese nationalism, and yeah, it's not really clever to do that. But boycotting them on behalf of the human rights activists is kind of a showing Chinese government and yeah, people who are doing this, that there is people who are against and are fighting this great war, fighting for human rights, and know what is happening there. Because if we remain silent, it means that everyone can do whatever, and small groups that are less privileged have no way to express and to look for any kind of support from outside their regions and countries.
What we thought that the voice from the small groups is not so self-obvious, and without Hollywood, the problem of the Tibetan monks wouldn't be possible. We also discussed this.
So Hollywood could be empowering, huh? Of course, pop culture is empowering, yeah.
Will you propose boycotting Olympics in London because of their presence in Iraq?
What about Chechnya? If it's happening. If we're talking about protecting rights of small groups, so this boycott can make too many problems. Like we have all representatives of many organizations of the world in Chechnya, and it's doesn't make any sense because historically it was a part of Russia, and it's a tough question. So we must be very careful analyzing such kind of processes, because it can prevent to divide in many countries of our world. And if we try to see to listen to any minority of different regions of the world. So that's my opinion.
I cannot help it but think, because I'm also very interested in questions of race discrimination and ethnicity, and I've studied it greatly in great length in the United States, and the question fascinates me because I think that American democracy, if it has some ideal, is that it keeps working on the matter of fighting discrimination, and we can only learn from their experiences. And I cannot help it but think about how we abuse our own minorities, and that the matter of preserving their rights is a question of a majority. And what do we do as individuals to protect that rights? How about Roma in Bulgaria? How about that constant horrible discrimination? How about the language we speak to describe these peoples? How about racial discrimination, the way we treat our neighbors? Let's talk about the Balkans, for instance. We are neighbors. We have been neighbors for centuries. We share history. But what is the history we teach? It's full of nationalistic idealism and some past where we're treated as separate, as something that is not connected. No, we are interconnected. We share the same region. We share history. We share the past. Hopefully we will share the future, right? It is a right to share a future. I want to enter universities, not only in Bulgaria, where we teach history that shows